Hey everyone, welcome to a deep dive into keeping your pets healthy here in beautiful Fort Lauderdale.
Beautiful is right.
You guys sent in some really helpful info on local vets, and we're ready to jump into all the details.
Yeah, what's interesting is how a lot of the advice is really universal.
Oh, absolutely.
Like in this guide, a veterinarian's comprehensive pet healthcare tips, tricks, and notes.
Yeah, great source.
It really emphasizes vaccinations, which of course is huge. They list all the core ones for dogs, rabies, DAPP,
Hmm.
and for cats, rabies, FERCP.
Yeah, those are definitely the essentials no matter where you are.
Right.
But then there's this other source, Fort Lauderdale, FL, how a veterinarian can help caring for your pets.
Okay.
And it highlights how our location here, being on the coast and, our lifestyle in Fort Lauderdale, might mean we need to think about some extra vaccines.
Oh, interesting. Like what kind?
Things like leptospirosis and Lyme disease.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Because you've got all those waterways and folks are out there with their dogs all the time.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
that's where a local vet really comes in, right?
Absolutely. They can look at your pet's lifestyle, what you do together, where you go, and
Mhm.
be like, okay, this is your actual risk.
Exactly. So it's not just about following those general vaccination guidelines, but really understanding how they apply to Fort Lauderdale specifically.
I see. So being more specific.
Yeah. And it's not just about location either. A veterinarian's comprehensive pet healthcare tips,
Hmm.
tricks, and notes stresses year-round parasite prevention. Fleas, ticks, heartworms,
Ah, the worst.
intestinal worms, it's a lot.
It is. It
Yeah.
is a lot. But especially in a place like Fort Lauderdale, warm, humid, pretty much all year, you need that constant
It's
protection.
like sunscreen for your pet.
I like that analogy.
Right. And I actually have a story about this.
Oh, tell me.
My friend adopted this adorable rescue dog. They were like, oh, she's an indoor dog, no need for heartworm meds. A few months later, positive test. It was so stressful, expensive treatment, not to mention heartbreaking for the poor dog.
That's awful, but it really shows, why prevention is so important.
Yeah, and why talking to your vet is crucial.
For sure. They can figure out the right plan for your pet.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we've covered vaccinations, parasites. What else is jumping out at you from these resources, specifically for us here in Fort Lauderdale?
Well, a veterinarian's comprehensive pet healthcare tips, tricks, and notes talks about recognizing signs of pain in older pets.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's something, people can easily miss, especially in a place like Fort Lauderdale where we're so active.
Right.
We're always out and about.
You're saying even if our dogs are used to, like, runs on the beach or playing fetch at the park,
Exactly.
as they get older, we need to be extra careful, watch for those limits.
Exactly. Maybe they're not as bouncy, not as energetic as they used to be. And of
Mhm.
course, some slowing down is normal, totally natural with age. But you need to know when it's just aging and when it's, oh, this is pain, this is discomfort.
Okay, yeah, so things like if they're having trouble getting up,
Yes, exactly.
limping, not lasting as long on walks,
Reduce stamina, yeah.
maybe they don't want to be touched as much.
Even that reluctance to be touched, it could be a sign that something is off.
So basically, paying attention to those subtle changes, maybe things we wouldn't even think about.
Yes, exactly. Those little things can be important.
And if something seems off, get them to the vet.
Absolutely.
But, it can be tough because older pets, they're often so stoic.
Oh, they are. They
Yeah.
don't always show their pain in obvious ways.
Right, exactly. So it's not always easy to tell what's going on.
Which is why those regular vet visits for senior pets, they become even more important.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
A vet can pick up on those little signs, those things that you might miss,
Totally.
and then they can suggest adjustments, maybe pain management medication, maybe even physical therapy.
Right, keep them comfortable and keep them moving.
Exactly. Quality of life is so important, especially as they get older.
Absolutely. Physical therapy for pets, that's interesting. I feel like that's become a lot more common.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I bet Fort Lauderdale has some great options just because of, how active people are here.
Totally. It's like a hub for pet rehab, alternative therapies.
I can picture like underwater treadmills for dogs, maybe acupuncture even.
Oh, yeah, you name it. We got it. Hydrotherapy, laser therapy, even chiropractors for animals.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So say my dog has arthritis. Instead of just meds, we could try those things, maybe help him move better, have a better quality of life.
Exactly. Exactly. It's about finding what works best for each pet.
It could make sense. And, I'm thinking back to that source, Fort Lauderdale, FL. how a veterinarian can help caring for your pets.
Yeah.
They mentioned Fort Lauderdale has a ton of different pets, even exotic animals.
Hmm.
Are there, like, specialized vets for those too?
Oh, absolutely. We have avian vets for birds,
Yeah.
herp vets who work with reptiles and amphibians, even vets for small mammals like rabbits, ferrets, all that.
Wow, that's so cool. Makes sense, though, right?
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale is such a unique place.
Yeah, a lot of different people, a lot of different pets.
But how do you even find these specialized vets? Is there, like, a secret club?
Huh. Not quite a secret club, but there are definitely ways to find them.
Okay, good.
The American Veterinary Medical Association, they have a website. You can search by specialty.
Oh, okay, cool.
And your regular vet can usually give you referrals too.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. So the takeaway is Fort Lauderdale's got a lot of veterinary resources.
Yeah, for sure. General
Mhm.
practitioners, specialists, you name it.
And Fort Lauderdale, FL, how a veterinarian can help caring for your pets. They really highlighted building a long-term relationship with your vet. Why is that so important?
Well, think of your veterinary like your pet's primary care doctor, you know?
Yeah.
They know your pet's history, their personality, their little quirks even. That relationship lets them give really personalized care, really effective treatment.
So it's not just about those yearly checkups. It's about having a vet who really knows your pet.
Exactly. Like a partner in their health and well-being.
And that means, being honest with them about any concerns you have.
Oh, definitely. Even if they seem small.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes those little things are actually important clues to figuring out what's wrong.
Like when you go to your own doctor, you tell them about that weird rash
Exactly.
or that cough that won't go away.
Yeah, you trust them to take your concerns seriously.
Mhm.
It should be the same with your pet's vet.
Absolutely. And speaking of trusting your vet, a veterinarian's comprehensive pet healthcare tips, tricks, and notes, it mentioned being prepared for emergencies,
Oh, yeah, that's crucial.
which honestly, I always get a little nervous about.
Understandable.
We love taking our dog to the beach.
Yeah, it's great, but
But what if he steps on something sharp? What if he gets stung by a jellyfish?
those are valid concerns for sure. And that's why being prepared is so important. First things first, know where the nearest emergency vet clinic is.
Oh, good point. I should probably add that to my phone right now.
Yeah, good idea. Also, having a pet first aid kit, especially if you're, out and about a lot.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
And make sure you've got your vet's emergency contact info handy. You never know when you'll need it.
Right. Okay, a lot to remember, but better safe than sorry, I guess. I'm realizing that being a responsible pet owner here means being ready for anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Enjoy the city, but be prepared for the unexpected.
Exactly. So we've covered vaccinations, parasites, senior pet care, finding specialists, emergencies. Is there anything else specifically for Fort Lauderdale pet owners?
Well, I think it's worth repeating, how important preventative care is.
Oh, for sure.
A veterinarian's comprehensive pet healthcare tips, tricks, and notes really emphasize that catching things early can make a huge difference.
Right, totally agree.
Yeah.
It's always easier to deal with a problem when it's small.
Mm.
But what does that actually mean? What does preventative care look like day to day?
Well, it starts with those regular checkups.
Mm.
Even if your pet seems totally healthy, those annual visits let your vet keep an eye on things,
Okay.
catch any potential issues early on, and, give you personalized advice for your pet's care.
So even if my dog is like bouncing off the walls, full of energy, still got to take him in for that yearly checkup.
Absolutely. It's a small investment, really, but it can save you a lot of trouble down the line.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's not just about physical health either.
Right.
Your vet can help with behavioral issues, give you tips on training, socialization, all that.
I see. So it's really about taking a holistic approach.
You got it. Physical, mental, emotional well-being, it's all connected.
And that's where having a vet you trust, a real partner, that makes a big difference.
Couldn't agree more.
Hearing you talk about all the resources and specialized care in Fort Lauderdale it really makes me appreciate living here.
Me too. It's a very pet-friendly city.
And it shows. Have you noticed how many places let you bring your dog on the patio now? Restaurants, cafes.
Oh yeah, tons of them. It's awesome. You can grab a bite to eat, have a coffee with your furry friend right there with you.
And all the dog parks and beaches.
So many options for them to run around, make friends.
Like Fort Lauderdale really gets it, Pets are family.
Yeah, they're a part of life here.
And that's what makes this city so special for pet owners. It's a community.
Absolutely. We all love our pets, and it shows.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot.
We have.
And I'm feeling, honestly, a lot more prepared to be a good pet parent here in Fort Lauderdale.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, knowledge is power.
True.
The more you understand about your pet's needs and what's available here, the better you can care for them.
Absolutely. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back to wrap up this deep dive with some final thoughts.
Stay tuned. We're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive on pet health here in Fort Lauderdale.
Ready when you are.
You know, I feel like I've learned so much going through these resources with you.
Me too. It's great to really dig into the detail.
And I'm feeling a lot more confident, about taking care of my pets here.
That's the goal, to empower pet owners with knowledge.
I think what really stood out for me was that even though Fort Lauderdale's amazing for pets,
Oh, it is.
there are some specific things we got to be mindful of.
Absolutely, yeah. Like we talked about the extra vaccinations because of, being on the coast.
Right.
Year-round parasite prevention because it's so warm and humid here.
Mm-hmm. And all the outdoor activities we love to do with our pets, got to be careful with that too.
Yeah, got to be prepared for those potential risks.
And then you add in the fact that Fort Lauderdale has, like, every kind of pet imaginable.
Well, it's true. Dogs, cats, birds, reptiles, you name it, we got it.
It's so cool. But it also means finding the right vet, one who specializes in your type of pet.
Exactly, yeah. Not all vets are created equal,
That's where those resources you sent in were so helpful, like a veterinarian's comprehensive pet healthcare tips, tricks, and notes that had great advice for any pet owner.
Yeah, really solid foundation there.
And then Fort Lauderdale, FL, how a veterinarian can help caring for your pets. That really focused on, what's unique about our area.
That local perspective is so valuable.
One thing that really hit home from Fort Lauderdale, FL, how a veterinarian can help caring for your pets was, finding a vet you trust, building that relationship.
Oh, it's so important.
It's not just about those yearly checkups. It's about having a vet who really gets your pet,
Yeah, like a partner in their healthcare journey.
Exactly. Someone who's there for the good times, the bad times, all of it.
Someone who knows their history, their personality, their quirks.
And it makes a difference, right? Having that connection.
Absolutely, yeah. They can provide much more personalized care that way.
And, we talked about mental and emotional well-being, too.
Right. It's not just about physical health.
Especially for older pets, making sure they're comfortable, happy.
Fort Lauderdale actually has some amazing resources for senior pet care.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Vets who focus on, like, geriatric medicine, rehabilitation, all that.
Wow, that's good to know.
And then, we can't forget about being prepared for those unexpected situations.
Emergencies, yeah.
Knowing where the closest emergency vet is.
Mm-hmm.
Having a pet first aid kit ready to go.
So important.
Especially if you're out with your pet a lot. Accidents happen, unfortunately.
So basically, pet ownership in Fort Lauderdale, it's amazing.
It is. So many great things about it.
But we got to be proactive.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be informed. We got to be prepared.
That's the key.
Find a vet you trust. Stay on top of those preventative care visits.
And be aware of, the unique challenges and resources that our city has.
And most importantly, just enjoy that bond with our furry friends.
Absolutely. They bring so much joy to our lives.
Couldn't agree more. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
I think so, too. Lots of good information to chew on.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope this was helpful.
And remember, if you have any questions, any concerns at all,
don't hesitate to reach out to a vet you trust.
They're there to help you every step of the way.
Until next time, keep those tails wagging and those purrs rumbling.